Picture standing in a desert where massive stones move on their own, or gazing up at a mountain with steps carved so precisely they seem impossible without modern tools. Ancient civilizations left behind puzzles that still baffle the brightest minds today, structures so mysterious, so perfectly aligned, that they whisper secrets we've yet to fully understand. These aren't just relics of the past, they're challenges thrown across time, daring us to uncover how and why they were built. In this video, we'll explore 25 of the most jaw-dropping geographic anomalies from the ancient world. From the towering pyramids of Giza to the eerie Nazca Lines that can only be seen from the sky, each site holds clues to forgotten knowledge and lost civilizations. What if these weren't just monuments but messages meant for us to decode? Stick around, because by the end of this journey, you'll see these wonders not as ancient history but as unsolved mysteries waiting for their stories to be told. The truth might be stranger than anything you've imagined. Now let's turn our attention to one of the most iconic and enduring mysteries of the ancient world, the Great Pyramids of Giza. Rising from the desert sands with breathtaking precision, these monumental structures have captivated historians, archaeologists, and even casual observers for centuries. How could a civilization without modern machinery or advanced tools construct something so colossal and so exact? The more we examine the pyramids, the more questions arise, each layer revealing a puzzle that challenges our understanding of ancient engineering. Take the sheer scale of the Great Pyramid of Khufu, the largest of the three. It stands at an original height of nearly 481 feet, composed of an estimated 2.3 million stone blocks, each weighing an average of 2.5 tons. Some of the granite slabs in the inner chambers weigh up to 80 tons. Moving these stones would be a Herculean task even with today's technology, yet the ancient Egyptians managed it over 4,500 years ago. Theories range from elaborate ramp systems to the use of counterweights and levers, but no single explanation fully accounts for the precision and efficiency displayed in the pyramid's construction. The joints between the stones are so tight that not even a sheet of paper can slide between them, a testament to craftsmanship that seems almost supernatural. Then there's the matter of alignment. The Great Pyramid is oriented almost perfectly along the cardinal directions north, south, east, and west, with an error margin of just a fraction of a degree. Such accuracy would require advanced knowledge of astronomy and mathematics, raising questions about how the ancient Egyptians achieved this without modern instruments. Some researchers suggest they used the stars, particularly the circumpolar constellation of Ursa Minor, to determine true north. Others propose they relied on the sun's shadow during the equinoxes. Whatever the method, the result is an architectural marvel that continues to defy easy explanation. But the mysteries don't stop at construction and alignment. The purpose of the pyramids has been debated just as fiercely. While they are commonly known as tombs for the pharaohs, the absence of royal remains in some pyramids and the elaborate, almost labyrinthine design of their inner chambers suggest they may have served additional functions. Could they have been astronomical observatories, their passages aligned with celestial events like the solstices? Or were they part of a grander cosmological design, reflecting the Egyptians' beliefs about the afterlife and the journey of the soul? Some even speculate about energy-related theories, pointing to the unusual electromagnetic properties detected within the pyramid structure. One of the most compelling aspects of the Great Pyramids is how they stand as a silent challenge to our assumptions about ancient technology and knowledge. Every new discovery, from hidden shafts to unexplored chambers, adds another piece to the puzzle, yet the full picture remains tantalizingly out of reach. As we continue to study these awe-inspiring monuments, one thing becomes clear: the builders of the pyramids possessed a sophistication that we are still struggling to comprehend. And with that thought, let's delve even deeper into the secrets these structures hold. because what lies beneath the surface may be even more astonishing than what meets the eye. But here's where the mystery takes an even more intriguing turn. Beyond the visible grandeur of the pyramids lies a hidden world of chambers and passageways that have yet to reveal all their secrets. Recent advancements in technology, like advanced scanning and robotics, have allowed researchers to peer deeper into these ancient structures than ever before, and what they've found only deepens the enigma. Take the discovery of the so-called Big Void in the Great Pyramid of Khufu, detected using muon radiography, a technique that tracks cosmic particles passing through stone. This massive cathedral-like space, located above the Grand Gallery, measures nearly 100 feet long and has no clear purpose. Why would such a vast cavity exist? Some speculate it could be a hidden chamber meant to relieve structural pressure, while others wonder if it holds undiscovered artifacts or even clues about the pyramid's construction. The truth remains elusive, as accessing the void without damaging the pyramid poses a serious challenge. Then there's the enduring puzzle of the Queen's Chamber. Despite its name, no queen was ever buried here, and its function is still debated. In the late 19th century, explorers found narrow shafts leading from this chamber, initially thought to be symbolic passageways for the pharaoh's soul. But when a robotic camera was sent down one of these shafts in 2002, it revealed a small door with copper handles, an unexpected feature that sparked countless theories. What lies behind it? Another sealed chamber, a repository of ancient knowledge. To this day, no one knows for certain. Controversy also surrounds the so-called secret doors in the shafts of the King's Chamber. In 2017, researchers used thermal imaging to identify anomalies behind the chamber's walls, suggesting possible hidden passages. Some Egyptologists argue these could be structural features, while others believe they might lead to undiscovered rooms. The debate highlights a broader challenge: how to balance exploration with preservation. Every new scan or probe risks damaging delicate ancient surfaces, leaving researchers torn between uncovering answers and protecting these irreplaceable monuments. Theories about what might still lie hidden within the pyramids range from the plausible to the extraordinary. Could there be undiscovered burial rooms untouched by looters? Might hidden chambers contain records or tools that could explain how the pyramids were built? Some even speculate about lost technology or esoteric knowledge, though such ideas remain firmly in the realm of speculation. What's undeniable is that the pyramids still guard their secrets closely. Each new discovery seems to raise more questions than it answers, reminding us that even after centuries of study, we've only scratched the surface. As technology advances, who knows what else might be waiting in the shadows of these ancient stones? One thing's for sure: the Great Pyramids of Giza aren't done surprising us yet. And with that thought, let's turn our attention to another ancient wonder that continues to baffle researchers: the towering stone sentinels of Easter Island. Now let's journey from the sun-baked sands of Egypt to the misty plains of England, where an entirely different kind of ancient mystery stands sentinel. Rising from the rolling green landscape of Wiltshire, Stonehenge has captivated imaginations for centuries. This colossal ring of towering stones, some weighing as much as 50 tons, is a marvel of prehistoric engineering, and like the pyramids, its true purpose remains hotly debated. The first question that baffles researchers is how Stonehenge was built at all. The larger sarsen stones, which form the iconic outer circle and inner horseshoe, were dragged from quarries over 20 miles away. Even more astonishing, the smaller bluestones, some of which have a distinctive blue hue when wet, were transported nearly 150 miles from the Preseli Hills in Wales. How did Neolithic people without wheels or metal tools manage such a feat? Some theories suggest they used wooden sledges, rollers, or even floated the stones on river rafts. But the sheer effort required hints at something deeper, a motive powerful enough to drive such a monumental undertaking. One of the most enduring explanations for Stonehenge's existence lies in the sky. The monument's alignment with the summer and winter solstices is no accident. At dawn on the summer solstice, the rising sun perfectly pierces the heart of the structure, casting a beam between the uprights of the central trilithon. Similarly, during the winter solstice, the setting sun aligns with the monument's axis. These precise celestial connections suggest Stonehenge may have served as a giant astronomical calendar, helping ancient communities track the seasons for planting, harvests, or rituals. Some researchers even propose it was a sacred site for solstice celebrations, drawing pilgrims from across Britain. Yet astronomy alone doesn't tell the whole story. Excavations have revealed that Stonehenge was part of a much broader ceremonial landscape. The nearby Durrington Walls, a massive Neolithic settlement, shows evidence of feasting and gatherings possibly linked to funeral processions. Human remains found at Stonehenge itself, many showing signs of illness or injury, hint that it may have been a place of healing or ancestor worship. The presence of cremated bones, some brought from distant regions, suggests it was a burial ground for elite figures or a pilgrimage site for the sick seeking cures. Then there's the enigma of its construction timeline. Stonehenge wasn't built in a single phase but evolved over more than 1,000 years, from simple earthworks around 3000 BC to the final stone circle we see today. This long development implies its purpose may have shifted across generations, from a burial site to a temple, or even a political symbol unifying disparate tribes. The very act of building it, requiring cooperation from countless people, might have been as important as its finished form. What's clear is that Stonehenge was far more than just a pile of rocks. It was a living, evolving monument steeped in spiritual and practical significance for the people who raised it. Whether as a celestial observatory, a healing sanctuary, or a bridge between the living and the dead, its true meaning is woven into the fabric of a world we're still striving to understand. And just as the pyramids guard their secrets, Stonehenge keeps its whispers close, waiting for the next clue to unravel its story. Speaking of whispers, our next stop takes us to the windswept highlands of Wales, where the mystery of the Bluestones deepens even further. But let's zero in on the most puzzling pieces of Stonehenge, the Bluestones. These smaller, yet no less mysterious, stones carry secrets of their own, and their journey to Wiltshire is nothing short of extraordinary. Unlike the local Sarsens, the Bluestones hail from the Preseli Hills in Wales, nearly 150 miles away. That's like carrying a truckload of boulders from one end of a country to the other, without trucks or even roads. So how did Neolithic builders pull this off? One leading theory suggests they transported these multi-ton stones using a combination of wooden sledges, rollers, and sheer manpower. But here's where it gets even wilder. Some researchers propose the Bluestones might have hitched a ride on glaciers during the last ice age, deposited closer to Stonehenge by natural forces. Yet geological studies show the stones were deliberately quarried in Wales, meaning humans dragged them the hard way. Recent excavations in the Preseli Hills uncovered ancient quarry sites, complete with tool marks and wedge holes, proof that these stones were prized enough to warrant the backbreaking effort. Now, why go through all that trouble? The Bluestones aren't just any rocks. When wet, they gleam with a striking blue-gray hue flecked with sparkling crystals. To ancient people, this might have seemed magical. Some archaeologists believe the stones were chosen for their perceived healing properties. Legends from medieval Wales describe similar rocks as having curative powers, and even today, chippings from Stonehenge's Bluestones are kept as good luck charms. Could Stonehenge have been a prehistoric Lourdes, drawing pilgrims seeking cures? Others argue the Bluestones held spiritual significance tied to their Welsh homeland. The Preseli Hills are rich with sacred springs and burial mounds, suggesting the area was already a ritual hub. Transporting stones from such a revered place might have been a way to bring ancestral power or divine connection to Stonehenge. Imagine the symbolism, hauling pieces of a holy landscape to consecrate a new one. Then there's the practical angle. The Bluestones' unique composition produces resonant sounds when struck, almost like metallic rings. This acoustic quality could have been used in rituals or ceremonies, turning Stonehenge into a giant musical instrument. Experiments show that striking these stones creates eerie, echoing tones perhaps meant to summon spirits or channel divine voices. Yet the Bluestone mystery doesn't end there. Recent studies reveal they weren't originally arranged as we see them today. Earlier configurations suggest they once stood in a completely different formation, possibly at an older Welsh site before being dismantled and moved. This raises a tantalizing question. Was Stonehenge's first incarnation actually in Wales? What's certain is that these stones were more than just building materials. They were treasures, objects of veneration, tools of ritual, or even living links to distant lands. Their journey to Salisbury Plain was a feat of determination, faith, or both. And like the rest of Stonehenge, their true purpose lingers just out of reach, waiting for the next clue to whisper its story. Speaking of whispers, our next stop takes us from the foggy hills of Britain to the sun-scorched deserts of Peru, where the ground itself is etched with messages we're still struggling to decode. Now, let's leave the misty plains of Britain and journey to the stark, sun-baked deserts of southern Peru, where an even more enigmatic spectacle unfolds: the Nazca Lines. Stretching across nearly 200 square miles of arid plateau, these colossal geoglyphs are so vast they can only be fully appreciated from the air. Etched into the earth between 200 and 1500 years ago, the lines form intricate designs, some geometric, others depicting animals, plants, and even humanoid figures. But who created them and why? The answers are as elusive as the desert winds. One of the most enduring theories suggests the Nazca Lines served as a giant astronomical calendar. Researchers like Maria Reich, who dedicated her life to studying the lines, proposed they aligned with celestial events like solstices or constellations. Certain lines point to the sun's position during key agricultural cycles, hinting they might have guided planting or harvest rituals, yet not all designs fit this explanation. The sprawling spider, hummingbird, and monkey glyphs seem more symbolic than practical, leading others to speculate they were sacred offerings to deities, perhaps prayers for water in this unforgiving landscape. Water, or the lack of it, is another clue. The Nazca region is one of the driest places on Earth, and some scholars believe the lines were part of elaborate water worship ceremonies. Underground aquifers snake beneath the desert, and the geoglyphs may have marked places where precious water could be found. One bizarre discovery supports this. Trenches along some lines funnel fog into channels, condensing it into drinkable moisture. Could the Nazca have engineered these designs to capture water from the air? Then there's the fringe theory that refuses to fade: extraterrestrial involvement. The sheer scale and precision of the lines, visible only from above, fueled speculation they were landing strips or signals for alien visitors. But let's ground this in reality. The Nazca people had no flight technology, yet they likely used simple surveying tools and their knowledge of perspective to plot the designs. By scaling up small models, they could have created these sprawling masterpieces step by step. Footprints and pottery found near the lines suggest they were walked during rituals, a terrestrial experience, not an aerial one. What's often overlooked is the cultural context. The Nazca weren't isolated mystics. They were part of a sophisticated society with vibrant ceramics and textiles. Many glyphs mirror motifs found on their pottery, linking the lines to their cosmology. The hummingbird, for instance, symbolizes resurrection in Andean lore. This suggests the lines weren't just practical tools, but also storytelling canvases, mapping myths onto the land itself. Recent technology has unveiled even more mysteries. Drones and satellite imaging have uncovered previously hidden lines, including a staggering 143 new geoglyphs in 2019 alone. Some depict warriors or mythical beings, deepening the puzzle. Worse, erosion and human activity threaten these fragile designs, the Pan-American Highway cuts through one glyph and illegal mining encroaches on others. The Nazca Lines endure as both art and enigma. Whether they were star maps, water prayers, or divine billboards, their purpose was clearly vital to a people who invested centuries in their creation. And like all great mysteries, they resist simple answers, inviting us to keep looking and wondering. Next, we'll delve deeper into the latest discoveries and debates surrounding these desert enigmas, where every new find seems to raise more questions than it answers. Let's turn our attention to the latest chapter in the Nazca Lines saga, where modern technology is peeling back layers of this ancient mystery. Just when we think we've grasped their secrets, the desert reveals something new. In recent years, drones and artificial intelligence have become game changers, uncovering geoglyphs that had faded into the landscape, invisible to the naked eye. One of the most startling discoveries came in 2019, when researchers from Yamagata University in Japan identified 143 previously unknown designs. Among them, an eerie humanoid figure with a rectangular head and wide, staring eyes, a stark departure from the animal and geometric motifs we're familiar with. What makes these new findings so intriguing is their diversity. Some depict warriors or mythical beings, while others show bizarre hybrid creatures blending human and animal traits. This challenges the old assumption that the lines were purely astronomical or agricultural. Instead, they hint at a rich tapestry of belief, stories of gods, spirits, or ancestors woven into the earth. The sheer variety suggests the Nazca people might have added to these designs over generations, each era leaving its own mark, but with every answer comes a new question. Why were some glyphs placed on hillsides, visible from the ground, while others sprawled across flat plains, only recognizable from above? One theory posits that the Nazca staged ritual processions along the lines, walking their paths to commune with deities. Recent excavations uncovered pottery and offerings at key points supporting this idea. Yet, the larger designs remain perplexing. If they weren't meant to be seen from the ground, did the Nazca believe their gods hovered in the skies? The debate over purpose has also taken a scientific turn. A 2021 study used satellite data to analyze the line's alignment with underground water sources. Astonishingly, many geoglyphs traced the hidden veins of aquifers beneath the desert. This reinforces the water worship theory but adds a twist. The Nazca might have used the lines as a spiritual map, marking where life-giving water could be tapped. Even their famed hummingbird glyph aligns with a seasonal water flow, suggesting these designs were both prayers and practical guides. Then there's the looming shadow of modern threats. The Nazca Lines aren't just battling time, they're under siege. In 2018, a truck driver ignored warning signs and plowed across a glyph, leaving deep scars. Illegal gold mining and urban expansion encroach on the site, while climate change intensifies erosion. Preservation efforts are racing against these dangers, with archaeologists using three-dimensional mapping to document every line before they vanish. Perhaps the most haunting question is what we still haven't found. Less than 5% of the Nazca Plateau has been thoroughly surveyed. Could there be an even grander design hidden beneath the dust? Or a central glyph that ties all the others together? For now, the lines keep their secrets, whispering fragments of a lost worldview. As we piece together these clues, one thing is clear: the Nazca Lines are more than ancient art. They're a conversation with the past, and we're only just beginning to listen. Next, we'll voyage to the Pacific, where another stone-bound mystery awaits, the towering Moai of Easter Island. Now, our journey takes us far out into the vast Pacific, where silent giants stand watch over an island shrouded in mystery. Easter Island's Moai are more than just statues. They're the enduring legacy of a civilization that defied the odds, only to vanish under the weight of its own ambition. These towering stone figures, some as tall as a 3-story building and weighing up to 80 tons, were carved from volcanic rock with nothing but simple basalt tools. Yet how they were moved across miles of rugged terrain remains one of archaeology's greatest puzzles. For centuries, the prevailing theory suggested the Rapa Nui people rolled the Moai on logs. But recent experiments reveal a more astonishing possibility. Researchers found that by rocking the statues side to side with ropes, small teams could walk them upright across the landscape, a method that aligns with local oral traditions. Imagine the sight, a line of figures seeming to advance on their own, guided by chance and communal effort. This wasn't just engineering, it was a performance of faith tying the living to their ancestors. The Moai weren't merely decorations. Each one represented a deified forebear, their backs turned to the sea as they gazed inland, protective spirits watching over villages and crops. The most sacred site, Rongorongo, was both quarry and workshop. Hundreds of incomplete Moai still lie buried there, some half-carved from bedrock, as if the sculptors simply walked away. This abrupt halt speaks to a society in crisis. By the time Europeans arrived in the 18th century, many statues had been toppled, and the island's forests cleared to transport the Moai were gone, triggering soil erosion and famine. But the story isn't just one of collapse. The Rapa Nui adapted. Later Moai are smaller, their designs simpler, suggesting resourcefulness in scarcity. Some were even repurposed, with eyes carved into their brows to see again after being re-erected. Today, modern technology helps us appreciate their scale. Three-dimensional scans reveal hidden petroglyphs on their backs, while soil analysis shows the islanders fertilized their fields with volcanic rock dust, defying barren conditions. The Moai's true power lies in their duality, monuments to both human ingenuity and hubris. They remind us that even the grandest civilizations must reckon with their environment. As we piece together their story, we're left wondering, what wisdom might these silent sentinels share if they could speak? Next, we'll delve deeper into the island's enigmatic past through its undeciphered script, Rongorongo, a linguistic puzzle as captivating as the statues themselves. Now, let's turn our attention from the silent giants to the whispers of the past etched into wood. The Rongorongo script is one of the world's last great undeciphered writing systems, a puzzle as enigmatic as the Moai themselves. Discovered in the 19th century on wooden tablets, this intricate system of glyphs, some resembling birds, plants, and celestial bodies, hints at a sophisticated culture capable of recording its history, rituals, and perhaps even the secrets of the Moai. Yet, despite over a century of study, no one has fully cracked its code. What makes Rongorongo so baffling is its isolation. Most ancient scripts, like Egyptian hieroglyphs or Mesopotamian cuneiform, have relatives or descendants that provide clues. But Rongorongo stands alone, with no clear link to other writing systems. Some scholars believe it may have developed independently after the Rapa Nui encountered European writing in the 18th century, while others argue it's far older, possibly dating back to the island's golden age. The truth remains elusive, but the glyphs themselves offer tantalizing hints. Many appear to depict creation myths, genealogies, or even astronomical events, suggesting they were used by priests or chiefs to preserve sacred knowledge. One of the most compelling theories connects Rongorongo to the Moai. A few tablets feature glyphs that resemble the statue's distinctive profiles, leading some researchers to speculate that the script might record the names, lineages, or spiritual roles of the ancestors represented by the Moai. Imagine if these carvings could tell us which figure guarded which village or which clan commissioned which statue. The potential revelations are staggering. But without a Rosetta Stone, a bilingual key to unlock the script, these meanings remain just out of reach. The challenges of decipherment are compounded by history's cruel hand. Only around 24 authentic Rongorongo tablets survive, many damaged or burned after European contact. Missionaries, viewing the script as pagan, destroyed countless tablets, and the last known masters of Rongorongo died without passing on their knowledge. Today, modern technology offers new hope. High-resolution imaging has revealed previously invisible markings, while algorithms analyze patterns that human eyes might miss. Yet, even with these tools, progress is painstaking, as each glyph could represent a word, a sound, or an entire concept. What's at stake isn't just linguistic pride. Deciphering Rongorongo could rewrite Easter Island's narrative, transforming it from a cautionary tale of collapse to a story of resilience and intellectual achievement. It might confirm whether the script was a sacred ledger, a navigational aid, or even a map of the stars. For now, the tablets remain silent, their messages locked in plain sight. But as we continue to study them alongside the Moai, we're reminded that some mysteries aren't meant to be solved quickly. They're meant to make us ponder, question, and marvel at the ingenuity of those who came before us. Next, we'll journey from the remote Pacific to the Atlantic's most infamous enigma, the Bermuda Triangle, where ancient accounts and modern disappearances intertwine in a web of geological wonder and myth. Leaving the silent mysteries of Easter Island behind, we now venture into the swirling enigmas of the Atlantic, where science and legend collide in one of history's most debated puzzles. The Bermuda Triangle, a stretch of ocean between Florida, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico, has captivated imaginations for centuries. Ancient mariners whispered of compasses spinning wildly and strange lights beneath the waves, while modern headlines tell of vanished ships and planes without a trace. But what transforms this patch of sea into a vortex of speculation? Geological forces offer some of the most compelling explanations. Beneath the triangle's waters lie vast fields of methane hydrates, frozen deposits of gas that, when released, can reduce water density so drastically that ships lose buoyancy and sink without warning. Imagine a burst of bubbles erupting beneath a vessel, turning the ocean into a foamy trap. This phenomenon isn't just theory. Scientists have observed similar scenarios in the North Sea. Add to this the region's volatile weather, where sudden storms and rogue waves can swallow entire crews, and the triangle's reputation begins to feel less supernatural and more like a perfect storm of natural hazards. Yet the triangle's allure isn't just rooted in science. Legends speak of electromagnetic anomalies disrupting navigation systems, leaving pilots and sailors disoriented. Some point to the eerie disappearance of Flight 19 in 1945, when 5 U.S. Navy bombers vanished mid-training, their last radio transmissions hinting at confusion over basic landmarks. Even Christopher Columbus's logs describe erratic compass readings, and a flame of fire crashing into the sea details modern researchers link to meteor showers or underwater seismic activity. Cultural myths amplify the mystery. Tales of lost civilizations like Atlantis resurface here, with some claiming the triangle hides advanced technology or interdimensional portals. Pop culture fuels these ideas, but archaeologists and oceanographers emphasize a simpler truth. The Bermuda Triangle sits along heavily trafficked routes, where human error and extreme weather conspire to create tragedy. The U.S. Coast Guard and global insurance databases confirm that disappearances here fall within statistical norms for such a busy area. But statistics don't silence wonder. Whether you lean toward methane bubbles or alien abductions, the Bermuda Triangle challenges us to question how easily fear fills the gaps in our understanding. Next, we'll dive deeper, literally, to examine the strange underwater formations that might hold the keys to this enduring enigma. Descending beneath the waves, the Bermuda Triangle reveals even more perplexing secrets hidden in its depths. While the surface stories of vanished ships capture headlines, it's the ocean floor that may hold the most tantalizing clues. Among the most striking features are the massive underwater craters discovered off the coast of Norway, some measuring over half a mile wide. These pockmarks, carved by explosive methane gas eruptions, mirror the conditions theorized to occur in the triangle. When these pockets of trapped gas burst, they create violent disturbances capable of capsizing vessels in moments. Researchers have even found evidence of similar craters near the Bahamas, adding weight to the idea that sudden gas releases could explain some of the region's infamous disappearances. But methane isn't the only force at play. The triangle sits atop one of the most geologically active zones on Earth, where the North American and Caribbean tectonic plates grind against each other. This friction generates powerful magnetic anomalies that can scramble navigation equipment, a phenomenon documented as far back as Columbus's voyages. Modern sonar mapping has uncovered bizarre rock formations, some resembling ancient ruins scattered across the seabed. While most scientists attribute these to natural erosion, their uncanny shapes have fueled speculation about lost cities or even alien structures. One such formation, the Bimini Road, consists of massive limestone blocks arranged in a seemingly deliberate path. Though geologists argue it's a rare example of tessellated pavement, its perfect geometry keeps debates alive. Perhaps the most compelling underwater mystery is the Milwaukee Depth, a trench plunging over 27,000 feet near Puerto Rico. This abyss creates unpredictable currents and whirlpools capable of dragging objects into the crushing darkness. Coupled with the region's frequent seismic activity, these depths may harbor unknown species or geological oddities yet to be discovered. Recent expeditions have detected strange acoustic signals and temperature fluctuations in the trench, phenomena that defy conventional explanation. The ocean's secrets aren't given up easily. Even with advanced technology, we've mapped less than 20% of the world's seafloor, leaving vast gaps in our understanding. The Bermuda Triangle, with its combination of methane vents, magnetic quirks, and uncharted trenches, serves as a humbling reminder of nature's power to perplex. As we resurface from these depths, our next stop takes us to a desert where rocks move without explanation, Death Valley's sailing stones. Shifting from the mysteries of the ocean, we now find ourselves in the scorching expanse of Death Valley, where the ground itself seems to defy logic. Here, in one of the hottest and driest places on Earth, rocks, some weighing hundreds of pounds, leave long, meandering tracks across the cracked clay of racetrack playa as if they've wandered on their own. For decades, these so-called sailing stones baffled scientists and visitors alike, their silent journeys etched into the earth with no clear explanation. At first glance, the phenomenon seems impossible. How could heavy stones move without human or animal intervention, carving trails that stretch hundreds of feet in straight lines, curves, or even sharp zigzags? Early theories ranged from the playful magnetic fields or mischievous spirits to the outright fantastical, like alien interference. But science, armed with patience and technology, eventually cracked the case, or at least most of it. The key lies in a rare and delicate combination of conditions. During winter, frigid nighttime temperatures cause thin sheets of ice to form on the playa's surface. When the sun rises, this ice begins to melt, breaking into floating panels that are pushed by gentle winds. If a rock sits atop this ice, even a light breeze can nudge both ice and stone across the slick, muddy surface below. The moving ice acts like a raft, carrying the rock with it and leaving behind a trail in the soft sediment. The process is slow, sometimes just a few inches per minute, but over hours these tiny shifts add up, creating the dramatic scars that puzzle onlookers. Yet mysteries remain. Why do some rocks move while others, seemingly identical, stay put? Why do their paths vary so dramatically, with some stones gliding straight and others veering unpredictably? In 2013, researchers finally captured the movement on camera using time-lapse photography, confirming the ice and wind theory. But the footage also revealed something unexpected. The ice sheets don't need to be thick or the wind strong. Even a wafer-thin layer of ice and the faintest breeze can set the rocks in motion, suggesting the phenomenon is more fragile and more magical than anyone imagined. Then there's the question of the playa's unique geology. Racetrack playa is exceptionally flat, with elevation changes of less than 2 inches across its entire surface. This near-perfect levelness allows ice and wind to move rocks unimpeded, a condition found in few other places on Earth. Some researchers speculate that microscopic algae or bacteria might lubricate the clay, reducing friction even further, though this theory is still debated. The sailing stones remind us that even in the age of satellites and supercomputers, nature holds onto its secrets tightly. Death Valley's silent ballet of rocks is a testament to the subtle, invisible forces that shape our world, forces we're only beginning to understand. And as we leave this desert enigma behind, our journey takes us next to the towering stone arch of Bolivia's Gate of the Sun, where celestial carvings whisper of an ancient civilization's lost knowledge. Turning our attention to the latest discoveries, recent studies have deepened our understanding of Death Valley's wandering rocks in fascinating ways. Scientists equipped with cutting-edge technology have peeled back another layer of this geological riddle, revealing nuances that earlier researchers could only guess at. One breakthrough came when a team installed weather stations and GPS-tracked rocks across racetrack playa, creating the most detailed dataset ever recorded. Their instruments showed that movement doesn't require extreme conditions, just a precise balance of water, ice, and wind. Surprisingly, the playa needs only a shallow pool of rainwater about 3 inches deep to set the stage. When nighttime temperatures dip below freezing, this thin layer forms delicate sheets of windowpane ice, of fragile, transparent panels that behave unlike thicker ice. High-resolution time-lapse cameras captured the magic in action. As morning sunlight warms the ice, it fractures into floating mosaics, some no larger than dinner plates. These jagged sheets, driven by breezes as gentle as 10 miles per hour, nudge rocks forward with astonishing precision. The footage debunked earlier assumptions that strong winds were necessary, showing instead how even a whisper of air could send boulders sliding. But here's where it gets even stranger. Researchers noticed that rocks don't always move together, even when clustered side by side. Data revealed microscopic variations in the playa's surface, tiny ridges or dips that alter ice formation. One rock might perch on a slightly elevated spot, leaving it stranded while its neighbor glides away. This explains why some trails abruptly end or veer apart, as if the stones changed their minds mid-journey. Another puzzle emerged when scientists analyzed the trails themselves. While most are straight or gently curved, a few feature sharp 90-degree turns. Lab experiments suggest these kinks happen when wind directions shift suddenly, causing ice sheets to pivot like sails. Yet some trails spiral or loop, patterns that still defy full explanation. Could underground water flow or hidden currents in the ice play a role? The debate continues. Perhaps the most tantalizing discovery came from beneath the surface. Soil sensors detected that the playa's clay becomes slicker when saturated, almost like wet soap. Microbial ecologists propose that cyanobacteria, tiny organisms thriving in the briny mud, secrete slimy biofilms, further reducing friction. This biological lubricant, combined with ice, might explain how rocks weighing over 600 pounds can slide so effortlessly. The latest findings remind us that nature's simplest phenomena often hide the most complex mechanisms. What once seemed supernatural rocks drifting across a desert now stands as a testament to Earth's delicate interplay of water, wind, and life. Yet for every question answered, new mysteries emerge, proving that even in our high-tech era, the natural world keeps its quiet wonders. And as we marvel at these tiny, invisible forces shaping the landscape, our next destination holds a grander scale of mystery: the towering Gate of the Sun, where ancient stone whispers of celestial knowledge waiting to be deciphered. Now let's journey from the windswept plains of Death Valley to the high-altitude mysteries of Bolivia, where the Gate of the Sun stands as a silent sentinel of ancient wisdom. This towering monolith, carved from a single block of andesite, rises over 12 feet tall and weighs an estimated 10 tons, yet its true significance lies not in its size but in the secrets etched across its surface. The gate's most striking feature is its intricate frieze, a cascade of geometric patterns and humanoid figures that seem to dance across the stone. At the center, a deity-like figure, often called the staff god, commands attention, radiating stylized rays and clutching objects resembling staffs or thunderbolts. Flanking this central figure are rows of winged attendants, some kneeling in reverence, others appearing to march in procession. But what does it all mean? One compelling theory suggests the gate served as an astronomical calendar. Researchers note that the carvings align with solstices and equinoxes, their shadows acting as markers for seasonal changes. During the winter solstice, for instance, sunlight strikes specific glyphs with such precision that some believe the gate could predict planting cycles or celestial events. Others argue the symbols encode a more complex cosmology, mapping the movements of stars or even recording mythological events. Yet not all interpretations lean toward the practical. For the Tiwanaku people who crafted it, the gate may have been a spiritual threshold. Some carvings depict figures with tear-shaped eyes, leading experts to propose rituals involving offerings or trance-induced visions. Local oral traditions speak of the gate as a portal to other realms where shamans communed with deities or ancestors. The staff god's imposing presence might represent a creator deity, a bridge between the earthly and the divine. Intriguingly, the gate's design hints at advanced engineering. Its proportions follow the golden ratio, a mathematical principle seen in nature and revered for its aesthetic harmony. The precision of the carvings, each line razor-sharp despite the stone's hardness, suggests tools or techniques lost to time. Even more puzzling, the gate appears unfinished. A deep crack runs through its base and some carvings lack detail, as if work abruptly ceased. Was it damaged in an earthquake or abandoned due to a cultural shift? As we piece together these clues, the Gate of the Sun refuses to surrender all its secrets. Whether it was a celestial clock, a sacred doorway, or both, its legacy endures as a testament to a civilization that viewed the cosmos not as distant lights, but as a living tapestry woven into daily life. And just as the Tiwanaku people look to the skies, our next exploration takes us beneath the waves, to Japan's enigmatic Yonaguni monument, where the ocean guards its own stone riddles. To truly understand the Gate of the Sun, we must step back and explore the civilization that brought it to life, the Tiwanaku. Flourishing between roughly 500 and 1000 AD, this culture thrived in the harsh Altiplano region of modern-day Bolivia, a high-altitude landscape where survival itself was a feat. Yet the Tiwanaku didn't just survive, they mastered their environment in ways that still baffle researchers today. Their capital, also named Tiwanaku, was a marvel of urban planning and engineering. The city's core featured monumental architecture, including tiered pyramids, sunken courtyards, and precisely aligned gateways, all constructed without mortar. Massive stone blocks, some weighing over 100 tons, were transported from quarries miles away and fitted together with staggering precision. The joints between these stones were so tight that even today, you can't slip a razor blade between them. This level of craftsmanship hints at a society with advanced knowledge of mathematics, astronomy, and construction techniques far ahead of their time. But the Tiwanaku's brilliance extended beyond architecture. They engineered an extensive agricultural system to combat the region's extreme climate. Raised fields known as suka kolas transformed marshy land into fertile plots. These fields were designed with intricate irrigation channels that regulated temperature and prevented frost, allowing crops like potatoes and quinoa to flourish at altitudes where modern farming struggles. Some researchers estimate these methods could have supported a population of up to 1 million people, an astonishing number for an ancient civilization in such an unforgiving environment. Their influence stretched far beyond their heartland. Artifacts and architectural styles linked to the Tiwanaku have been found across the Andes, from the coasts of Peru to the valleys of northern Chile. This suggests a vast network of trade and cultural exchange, possibly even a form of peaceful diplomacy that united disparate groups under shared beliefs. At its peak, Tiwanaku was less an empire and more a spiritual hub, a place where people gathered not just for resources, but for ceremonies, knowledge, and connection. Then, around 1000 AD, this thriving civilization began to unravel. The reasons remain one of archaeology's most gripping mysteries. Some theories point to climate change, a prolonged drought that crippled their agricultural systems. Others suggest internal strife or the rise of rival powers disrupted their networks. What's certain is that the Tiwanaku didn't vanish overnight. Their decline was gradual, a fading of influence rather than a sudden collapse. By the time the Inca rose to prominence centuries later, Tiwanaku was already a shadow of its former self, its grand structures abandoned and its people dispersed. Yet the legacy of the Tiwanaku endures. Their innovations in agriculture, their celestial knowledge embedded in monuments like the Gate of the Sun, and their ability to thrive in adversity offer lessons even today. As we move forward to explore Japan's Yonaguni monument, remember this: the Tiwanaku remind us that civilizations may fall, but their stones still speak. Now let's dive into the depths of the Pacific, where another ancient mystery stirs the imagination. The Yonaguni Monument, off the coast of Japan's Yonaguni Island, submerged beneath crystal-clear waters, lies a series of massive, geometric rock formations that have ignited fierce debate among archaeologists, geologists, and historians. Some see the work of human hands in these sharp angles and perfect terraces, while others argue nature alone carved this underwater spectacle. The monument's most striking feature is its towering monolith, a 5-story structure resembling a stepped pyramid, complete with what appear to be carved staircases and platforms. Nearby, flat surfaces intersect at near-perfect 90-degree angles, and long, straight trenches run parallel to one another, details that seem too precise to be random erosion. Adding fuel to the mystery, what look like tool marks and symbolic carvings, including a face-like figure and a turtle-shaped rock, dot the site. Could these be the remnants of a civilization swallowed by the sea? Geologists offer a counter-argument. They point to the region's active seismic activity, suggesting the formations might be sandstone beddings fractured by earthquakes over millennia. The sharp edges and flat plains, they say, could result from natural jointing and erosion from strong ocean currents. Yet, even skeptics admit some features are unusually symmetrical. The debate hinges on one question: could nature alone create such geometrically deliberate shapes, or is human intervention lurking beneath the waves? The timeline adds another layer of intrigue. If human-made, the monument would date back at least 10,000 years, a period when sea levels were far lower due to the last ice age. This places its construction in the realm of prehistory, long before any known advanced culture in the region. Proponents of the man-made theory draw parallels to legends like Atlantis or Mu, mythical civilizations said to have vanished beneath the ocean. Could Yonaguni be a tangible clue to these lost worlds? Marine archaeologist Masaki Kimura spent decades studying the site, documenting what he believes are roads, temples, and even a stadium. His claims, though controversial, highlight the monument's potential to rewrite history. Meanwhile, mainstream scholars urge caution, noting that underwater archaeology is fraught with challenges, from strong currents to the difficulty of distinguishing human craftsmanship from natural processes. Whether carved by nature or by an ancient society, the Yonaguni monument captivates because it challenges our understanding of the past. It forces us to ask how much of human history remains hidden beneath the sea. As we explore further, keep in mind that some of Earth's greatest mysteries may lie not on its surface, but in its sunken depths. Next, we'll delve into the theories linking this enigmatic site to one of history's most enduring legends, the lost city of Atlantis. Now, as we venture deeper into the mystery of the Yonaguni monument, let's turn our attention to the whispers of an ancient legend, the lost city of Atlantis. Could these underwater ruins be a tangible piece of that fabled civilization? The idea isn't as far-fetched as it might seem. For decades, researchers have drawn parallels between Plato's description of Atlantis and submerged structures like Yonaguni, igniting a debate that blends archaeology, geology, and myth. Plato's account, written around 360 BCE, describes Atlantis as an advanced island kingdom that sank beneath the ocean in a single day and night. While many dismiss it as allegory, others argue it could be a distorted memory of a real catastrophe. The Yonaguni monument, with its man-made appearance and location in the Pacific, fits intriguingly into this puzzle. Proponents point to the monument's terraced formations, which resemble the stepped architecture of ancient cultures like the Mesopotamians or Incas, societies often linked to Atlantean lore. Even the monument's alleged carvings, like the so-called Turtle Rock, echo symbols found in other ancient seafaring cultures. Geological evidence adds another layer. The monument sits near the Ryukyu Trench, a seismic hotspot. If a massive earthquake or tsunami struck here thousands of years ago, it could have submerged a coastal settlement almost overnight, mirroring Plato's tale. Marine archaeologist Masaki Kimura, a vocal advocate for the man-made theory, has suggested that Yonaguni could be part of a larger, sunken network, perhaps even the remnants of the hypothetical Mu civilization, a Pacific counterpart to Atlantis. Skeptics, however, urge caution. They note that Plato placed Atlantis beyond the Pillars of Hercules, traditionally identified as the Strait of Gibraltar, a world away from Japan. Moreover, no artifacts like pottery or tools have been found at Yonaguni to definitively prove human involvement. Yet, the absence of evidence isn't necessarily evidence of absence. Underwater archaeology is notoriously challenging, and the strong currents around Yonaguni could have scattered or buried such relics over millennia. What makes this theory so compelling is its duality. It forces us to confront how legends might preserve fragments of truth. Even if Yonaguni isn't Atlantis, its existence proves that real civilizations have been lost to the sea, perhaps ones we've yet to discover. As technology advances, future expeditions might uncover more clues, bridging the gap between myth and history. For now, the monument remains a tantalizing enigma, a submerged puzzle piece in humanity's ancient past. Next, we'll journey to China, where another underground marvel, the Longyu Caves, challenges our understanding of ancient engineering and ambition. Leaving the mysteries of the ocean behind, we now turn our gaze inland to China, where an equally baffling wonder lies hidden beneath the earth, the Longyu Caves. Discovered in 1992 by a curious villager draining a local pond, these sprawling subterranean chambers defy explanation. Carved entirely by hand, the caves stretch across an astonishing 30,000 square meters, with ceilings soaring as high as 30 meters in some sections. What makes them truly extraordinary is not just their scale, but the meticulous precision of their construction. The walls and pillars of the Longyu Caves are adorned with uniform, parallel chisel marks, each groove spaced with near mathematical consistency. This level of craftsmanship suggests a highly organized workforce, yet no historical records mention their creation. Even more puzzling, the caves were dug into solid sandstone, a back-breaking feat without modern tools, yet there's no evidence of debris or discarded rubble. Where did the estimated 1 million cubic meters of excavated stone disappear to? Theories range from ritual disposal to reuse in nearby construction, but not a single trace has been found. Purpose remains another enigma. Unlike typical ancient caves used for tombs or storage, the Longyu Caves lack artifacts, inscriptions, or even soot marks from torches. Some researchers propose they served as imperial hiding places during wartime, while others see them as ceremonial spaces, citing the acoustics certain chambers amplify whispers eerily. Local folklore offers a whimsical twist, claiming the caves were dug by a legendary emperor's army overnight. But the truth may be even stranger. Abandonment adds the final layer of intrigue. Despite their sophistication, the caves show no signs of prolonged use. No tools, no murals, no evidence of daily life. It's as if they were carved, then immediately forgotten. Geological studies hint at flooding as a possible culprit, with sediment layers suggesting sudden inundation. Could a natural disaster have forced their desertion? Or was their purpose so singular that once fulfilled, they were deliberately sealed away? What's undeniable is the ambition behind the Longyou caves. They stand as a testament to an ancient society's capability and audacity to reshape the earth itself, yet their silence taunts us. Without written clues, we're left to wonder, were they a practical endeavor, a spiritual undertaking, or something beyond our modern imagination? As we prepare to delve deeper into their engineering marvels, one thing is clear. The Longyou caves are a ghostly echo of a lost chapter, waiting for their secrets to be unearthed. Shifting our focus to the remarkable engineering behind the Longyou caves, it's impossible not to marvel at the sophistication of their design. These caves are not just hollowed-out spaces, they're a masterpiece of precision, reflecting skills that seem almost impossible for their time. Every angle, every pillar, and every chisel mark tells a story of meticulous planning and execution. What makes the construction so astounding is the uniformity of the work. The walls and ceilings are carved with parallel grooves, each spaced with near-identical precision, suggesting the use of standardized tools or techniques. Even more impressive is the structural integrity. Despite being carved from relatively soft sandstone, the caves have stood for centuries without collapse. Engineers studying the site have noted the strategic placement of load-bearing pillars, spaced at intervals that perfectly distribute weight. This level of foresight implies a deep understanding of physics and stability long before modern engineering principles were formalized. But how did ancient workers achieve such precision without advanced technology? One theory suggests they used a grid system, marking the stone before carving to ensure symmetry. Others propose that fire or water was employed to soften the rock, making it easier to shape. Yet no tools or remnants of such methods have been found, deepening the mystery. The absence of debris is equally puzzling. An estimated 1 million cubic meters of stone were removed, but not a single trace of it has been discovered nearby. Did they transport it miles away or repurpose it so thoroughly that no remnants remain? The lack of historical records only adds to the enigma. While ancient Chinese texts detail grand projects like the Great Wall or the Terracotta Army, the Longyou caves are never mentioned. This omission is baffling, considering the effort required to create them. Were they a secret project deliberately erased from history, or were they so ancient that their origins predate written records? Some scholars argue that the caves might belong to a forgotten civilization, one whose achievements were lost to time. Equally curious is the absence of wear and tear. Most ancient structures show signs of use: footsteps smoothing floors, soot from torches, or carvings added over generations. But the Longyou caves appear frozen in time, as if abandoned shortly after completion. This has led to speculation that they served a single, short-term purpose, perhaps as a ceremonial space or even an emergency shelter before being sealed away. As we piece together these clues, one truth becomes clear. The Longyou caves are a testament to human ingenuity, challenging our assumptions about ancient technology. Their existence forces us to reconsider what civilizations were capable of, and why some marvels were left to fade into obscurity. With so many unanswered questions, they remain an open invitation to explorers and archaeologists alike, a silent challenge to uncover their secrets. Now, as we move forward, another ancient mystery awaits us, one that lies scattered across the plains of Laos, where thousands of massive stone jars stand in silent testimony to a forgotten past. Leaving behind the precision-carved chambers of the Longyu Caves, we now journey to the misty highlands of Laos, where an entirely different kind of ancient marvel awaits. Spread across rolling hills and dense jungle clearings, the Plain of Jars presents a sight both mesmerizing and mystifying. Thousands of massive stone vessels, some as tall as a person, standing silently for over 2,000 years. These enigmatic jars, carved from sandstone and granite, vary in size and shape, with some weighing several tons. Unlike the Longyu Caves' geometric precision, the jars have a rugged, almost organic appearance, yet their sheer number, over 90 sites, have been discovered, hints at a purpose far beyond mere decoration. The most compelling question is simple: why were they made? Archaeologists have long debated their function, with burial rituals being the leading theory. Excavations around the jars have revealed human bones, pottery fragments, and glass beads, suggesting they may have served as ancient urns or part of elaborate funeral ceremonies. Some researchers propose that bodies were placed inside the jars to decompose before secondary burial, a practice seen in other Southeast Asian cultures. Others believe the jars stored rice wine or rainwater for rituals, linking them to communal gatherings or spiritual offerings. The mystery deepens when we consider how these colossal jars were created and transported. Unlike the Longyu Caves, where tools might have left clues, no definitive carving instruments have been found near the Plain of Jars. The nearest known quarry is miles away, raising questions about how ancient people moved these multi-ton vessels across rugged terrain. Local legends speak of giants who crafted the jars, while some scholars suggest log rolling techniques or even monsoon-floated transport, yet no evidence confirms either method. Equally puzzling is the lack of written records. Like the Longyu Caves, the jars appear in no historical texts, leaving modern researchers to piece together their story from archaeology alone. The absence of nearby settlements adds another layer of intrigue. Were these sites purely ceremonial, visited only for specific purposes, or were they connected to a lost civilization that left no other traces? Recent bomb-clearing efforts, remnants of the Vietnam War-era conflict, have unexpectedly aided archaeologists by allowing safer access to previously unexplored areas. New excavations have uncovered smaller jars buried underground, hinting at a more complex funerary landscape than previously thought. Still, definitive answers remain elusive. The Plain of Jars stands as a testament to humanity's enduring drive to honor, store, or commemorate, but the specifics of that drive are lost to time. As we continue our exploration, we'll delve into how modern challenges, from unexploded ordnance to environmental threats, complicate efforts to unravel this ancient puzzle further. Shifting our focus to the present, the Plain of Jars faces challenges far removed from its ancient origins, yet equally daunting. Beneath the serene landscape lies a hidden danger: countless unexploded bombs, remnants of the Vietnam War-era conflict that turned this archaeological wonder into one of the most heavily bombed regions in history. During the 1960s and 70s, American forces dropped over 2 million tons of ordnance on Laos, with a staggering 30% failing to detonate. These dormant explosives now litter the jar sites, buried in soil or hidden by vegetation, posing lethal risks to researchers and locals alike. Imagine the irony: ancient artifacts preserved for millennia now threatened by modern warfare's lingering scars. The presence of these bombs has severely hampered archaeological work. Many areas remain inaccessible, forcing experts to rely on limited, cleared zones for study. Even then, the process is painstaking. Teams must coordinate with bomb disposal units, slowing progress to a crawl. One wrong step could be catastrophic, as seen in tragic accidents where farmers or children inadvertently triggered decades-old munitions. Yet, amid these dangers, preservation efforts persist. Organizations like Mines Advisory Group work alongside archaeologists to clear explosives meter by meter. Their efforts have unlocked previously restricted areas, revealing new jar clusters and burial artifacts. Recent discoveries include smaller, buried jars, suggesting the sites were more extensive than initially thought. But each excavation is a race against time, not just due to bombs but also to looting and erosion. Local communities play a crucial role in safeguarding the jars. Villagers, once wary of the sites due to wartime trauma, now act as custodians, guiding tourists and reporting looters. UNESCO designation of the Plain of Jars as a World Heritage Site in 2019 has bolstered protection, yet funding remains scarce. Climate change adds another layer of threat, with increasing rainfall eroding delicate soils around the jars. The challenge isn't just physical, it's ethical. Should researchers prioritize clearing bombs over studying jars? Or does focusing on archaeology help justify the risks? Some argue that understanding the jar's cultural significance honors the very people who endured wartime devastation. Others stress that safety must come first. What's undeniable is the Plain of Jars' resilience. From ancient artisans to modern bomb clearance teams, humanity's drive to preserve its past endures. As we move forward, the next anomaly awaiting us holds mysteries of a different kind but equally profound. Now, let's journey from the war-scarred plains of Laos to the windswept coast of Brittany in France, where an even older mystery stands silent and steadfast: the Karnak stones. Stretching over miles of rolling landscape, this sprawling collection of megalithic stones, numbering in the thousands, is one of the most enigmatic archaeological sites in Europe. Arranged in precise rows, some towering over human height while others crouch low to the earth, these stones have baffled researchers for centuries. Who placed them here and why? Theories abound, but certainty remains just out of reach. The sheer scale of the site is staggering. Imagine over 3,000 stones, some weighing tons, meticulously aligned in parallel rows that run for nearly 4 kilometers. The largest, known as the Menek alignment, features 11 converging rows like the ribs of a giant fossilized beast. Then there's the Camario complex, where the stones grow taller as you move east, as if marching toward some unseen purpose. Dating back to around 4,500 BC, older than Stonehenge, these stones were erected by a Neolithic culture that left no written records, only these granite sentinels as clues. One of the most compelling theories suggests the Karnak stones served as an astronomical observatory. Certain alignments correspond to solstices and equinoxes, much like other ancient megalithic sites. For example, during the winter solstice, the setting sun aligns perfectly with the Grand Menhir Brisset, a now-fallen monolith that once stood 20 meters tall. Could this have been a celestial calendar helping early farmers track seasons for planting and harvest? The precision lends credibility, but skeptics argue that natural erosion and later human interference may have distorted original alignments. Others propose the stones had territorial or ceremonial significance. Their arrangement might have marked sacred pathways for rituals or perhaps boundaries between tribal lands. Local Breton legends add a mythical layer, claiming the stones are a Roman army petrified by the wizard Merlin, a poetic explanation, but one that reflects humanity's urge to make sense of the inexplicable. Modern technology has peeled back some of the mystery. Ground-penetrating radar has revealed buried stone chambers and artifacts beneath the site, hinting at funerary or spiritual uses. Yet, much like the Plain of Jars, preservation is a challenge. Tourism and weathering threaten the stones, with some toppled or vandalized over the years. Efforts to protect them, including restricted access, have sparked debate. Should these stones remain untouched, or should we risk closer study to uncover their secrets? What's undeniable is the Karnak stones' enduring power to captivate. They whisper of a time when humanity sought to impose order on a chaotic world, whether through star charts or sacred rites. As we prepare to delve deeper, another layer of this ancient puzzle awaits, one woven not just into stone, but into the very folklore of the people who have lived in their shadow for millennia. But beyond the stone's silent grandeur lies a world of myth and legend where history blurs with imagination. The Karnak stones have inspired countless local tales passed down through generations like whispered secrets. One of the most enduring legends claims these megaliths were once a Roman legion, turned to stone by the enchantments of Merlin himself. Imagine an invading army frozen mid-march by the wizard's power, a story born from the stone's eerie, regimented rows. Breton folklore paints Merlin as both protector and trickster, his magic woven into the landscape. Another tale speaks of a fearsome giant named Corsair, who carried the stones in his apron to build a temple for the sun. Tiring from his labor, he tripped, scattering the megaliths across the fields. Locals once pointed to grooves in certain stones, said to be the giant's fingerprints. These stories aren't just fanciful explanations, they reveal how ancient people grappled with the inexplicable, transforming awe into narrative. Even the stone's alignment has sparked supernatural theories. Some believe they mark a path for spirits, a celestial highway between worlds. On certain nights, it's said the stones awaken, sliding silently toward the sea before returning at dawn. Fishermen recount glimpses of ghostly processions among the megaliths, their origins lost to time. Such accounts may stem from the site's palpable energy, the way moonlight etches long shadows, or how mist coils around the pillars like breath. Modern researchers note how these legends often align with archaeological clues. The idea of petrified armies, for instance, might echo distant memories of Neolithic tribal conflicts. The giant myths could reflect oral traditions of the stone's builders, people whose strength and ingenuity seemed superhuman to later generations, and the spiritual pathways. They mirror the theory that Karnak was a ritual landscape where the living communed with ancestors or deities. Yet folklore isn't just a mirror to the past. It shapes the present. Every year, visitors leave offerings at the base of certain stones, coins, flowers, even handwritten notes, continuing a tradition that may stretch back millennia. Local festivals reenact the legends, with villagers dressed as giants or druids, blurring the line between past and present. These acts keep the stones alive in collective memory, long after their original purpose faded. What makes Karnak extraordinary isn't just the stones themselves, but the layers of meaning they've gathered. They stand as monuments to human curiosity, to our need to find stories in the unknown. As we move forward, prepare to uncover another marvel, one not carved by human hands, but by the patient work of water and time. Now, let's journey from the misty fields of Karnak to the sun-baked plains of southern Africa, where another ancient marvel whispers secrets of a forgotten empire. The Great Zimbabwe ruins stand as a testament to a civilization that once thrived in sophistication and grandeur, only to vanish into the shadows of time. This sprawling stone city, whose name means houses of stone in the Shona language, was built between the 11th and 15th centuries by the ancestors of the modern Shona people. What makes it extraordinary is not just its scale, covering nearly 1,800 acres, but the precision of its construction. The walls, some towering over 30 feet high, were assembled without mortar, each stone carefully shaped to fit snugly against its neighbor. The technique, known as dry stone walling, demonstrates an engineering prowess that rivals the great monuments of other ancient civilizations. At its height, Great Zimbabwe was the heart of a vast trading network that stretched as far as China and the Middle East. Archaeologists have unearthed treasures like Arabian glass, Persian pottery, and even fragments of Ming Dynasty porcelain, proof of its role as a commercial hub. The city's wealth came from gold, mined from the surrounding hills and traded for goods across the Indian Ocean. Its rulers, likely a powerful elite of merchants and spiritual leaders, controlled this lucrative trade, amassing influence that extended across the region. But perhaps the most intriguing mystery is why such a prosperous city was abandoned. By the 15th century, Great Zimbabwe lay empty, its people gone, leaving behind only echoes in the wind. Some theories suggest environmental factors, overgrazing or drought, could have depleted resources. Others point to political upheaval or a shift in trade routes that sapped its economic vitality. There's also the haunting possibility of a spiritual or cultural decline, a loss of faith in the rulers who once guided them. European colonists, unwilling to believe Africans could have built such a marvel, spun myths of Phoenician or Arab origins. These racist narratives were debunked by 20th century archaeology, but the damage lingered, obscuring the truth of Zimbabwe's indigenous brilliance. Today, the ruins are a symbol of African heritage, their true story reclaimed. As you walk among the towering walls, it's impossible not to wonder about the lives that once filled these spaces, the traders haggling in the market, the artisans shaping gold into intricate jewelry, the children laughing in the shadow of these mighty stones. Great Zimbabwe isn't just a ruin, it's a reminder of how empires rise, fall, and sometimes fade into legend. And as we turn our gaze to the next anomaly, prepare to encounter a structure so enigmatic, its purpose remains hotly debated by scholars to this day. Now, amid the sprawling stone remnants of Great Zimbabwe, one structure rises above the rest, both literally and figuratively: the conical tower. This enigmatic 26-foot-tall tower, nestled within the ruins' inner sanctum, has puzzled archaeologists and historians for decades. Its smooth, tapering form, built with the same meticulous dry stone technique as the surrounding walls, stands as a silent sentinel guarding secrets of the past. The tower's purpose remains one of Great Zimbabwe's most enduring mysteries. Some scholars argue it served a practical function, perhaps as a granary. Its solid base and hollow interior could have stored grain, a vital resource for a thriving city. Yet the tower's location, within a sacred enclosure near the presumed royal residence, hints at something far more symbolic. Why place a grain silo in such a ritually significant space? This question leads to another compelling theory: the tower as a religious monument. Its shape, echoing the nearby soapstone bird symbols of ancestral spirits, suggests a link to spiritual practices. Perhaps it was a phallic symbol representing fertility and power, or an astronomical marker aligned with solstices or celestial events. The Shona people's descendants speak of the tower as a path to the ancestors, a conduit between the earthly and spiritual realms. The absence of any internal staircases or chambers only deepens the intrigue. Was it never meant to be entered, functioning instead as a symbolic beacon? European explorers, steeped in colonial bias, once dismissed the tower as a mere imitation of Middle Eastern minarets. Modern archaeology, however, confirms its indigenous origins, part of a uniquely African architectural tradition. The tower's mortar-free construction, with stones precisely stacked to withstand centuries, mirrors techniques found in other ancient African sites, further debunking outdated myths. Recent studies have added fuel to the debate. Ground-penetrating radar hints at hidden chambers beneath the tower, raising tantalizing possibilities. Could these spaces hold ceremonial artifacts or even royal remains? Until further excavations are done, the tower's true role remains speculative. What's undeniable is its emotional resonance. Standing before it, you feel the weight of history, the whispers of rituals performed, decisions made, and stories lost. The conical tower isn't just a relic, it's a question carved in stone, challenging us to unravel the worldview of those who built it. And as we turn from the mysteries of Great Zimbabwe, our next destination beckons: a city swallowed by the sea, where waves now guard legends of a divine kingdom. The sunken ruins of Dwarka await, promising even deeper enigmas beneath the tides. Now, let us dive beneath the waves off India's western coast, where the Arabian Sea guards one of history's most captivating underwater mysteries: the sunken city of Dwarka. According to ancient Hindu texts like the Mahabharata, this was once the glorious kingdom of Lord Krishna, a city so magnificent it was said to be forged by the gods themselves. But when Krishna departed the earth, the legends claim the sea rose to swallow Dwarka whole, leaving only whispers of its splendor beneath the tides. For centuries, these stories were dismissed as myth until marine archaeologists began uncovering startling evidence. In the late 20th century, expeditions near modern-day Dwarka revealed submerged stone structures, some dating back over 3,500 years. Massive stone blocks perfectly aligned in geometric patterns lie scattered across the seabed, resembling the foundations of a vast urban settlement. Pottery shards, anchors, and even ancient walls have been dredged up, all pointing to a sophisticated port city that thrived here millennia ago. The most compelling finds include a stone structure believed to be a jetty or dockyard, suggesting Dwarka was a bustling hub of maritime trade. Its layout aligns eerily with descriptions from the Mahabharata, which speaks of a city with meticulously planned sectors, grand gateways, and a harbor teeming with ships. Even more intriguing are the ancient artifacts: a bronze seal depicting a three-headed animal, pottery etched with symbols matching those found in other Indus Valley sites, and stone weights used for trade. These discoveries blur the line between legend and history, hinting that Dwarka may have been a real metropolis, its fate twisted into myth over time. Yet the sea keeps its secrets tightly guarded. The ruins lie in silt-heavy waters, making excavation painstakingly slow. Some researchers argue the structures could be natural formations, though their precise symmetry challenges this theory. Others propose that Dwarka was not one city but several, built and rebuilt over centuries as shifting shorelines claimed the land. The debate is far from settled, but one thing is clear: the underwater ruins off Dwarka offer tantalizing clues to a civilization that once bridged the divine and the earthly. For the faithful, these findings are divine confirmation, proof that Krishna's city was no mere allegory. For scientists, they raise profound questions about ancient maritime cultures and the cataclysms that may have erased them. Whether viewed through the lens of faith or archaeology, Dwarka's submerged stones are a haunting reminder of how much history still lies hidden beneath the waves. And as the tides of mystery pull us deeper, another enigma surfaces, one that might finally reveal what secrets the sea has kept locked away for millennia. Recent marine archaeology discoveries are rewriting what we know about Dwarka, and what we're about to uncover next may change everything. But what lies beneath the silt and sand may finally be coming to light. Marine archaeologists have made groundbreaking discoveries in recent years, peeling back layers of time to understand Dwarka's dramatic disappearance. Advanced technologies like side-scan sonar and underwater robotics have mapped the seabed with unprecedented clarity, revealing structures far larger than initially suspected. One such find is a series of massive stone walls, some stretching over 600 meters, arranged in a grid-like pattern that mirrors ancient urban planning. These aren't random debris, they're the bones of a meticulously designed city. Among the most striking revelations is a collection of stone anchors, some weighing several hundred kilograms, found scattered near what was likely a bustling harbor. These anchors, carved with holes for ropes, suggest a thriving maritime trade network, one that possibly connected Dwarka to other ancient civilizations like Mesopotamia and the Indus Valley. Even more compelling are the artifacts pulled from the depths: pottery inscribed with symbols eerily similar to those of the Harappan script, beads crafted from semi-precious stones, and even a carved conch shell, a sacred object in Hindu tradition linked to Lord Krishna himself. Each discovery stitches another thread between myth and tangible history. Then there's the mystery of Dwarka's submersion. Geological studies of the seabed reveal signs of sudden upheaval, layers of sediment mixed with marine fossils and human-made debris, all dating to roughly the same period. This supports theories of a catastrophic event, possibly a tsunami or rapid sea level rise, swallowing the city in a single calamitous blow. Carbon dating of wooden artifacts and coral growth on submerged structures points to a timeline around 1500 BC, coinciding with a known period of climatic instability in the region. Could this be the Great Deluge described in the Mahabharata? Yet the sea isn't done yielding its secrets. In 2020, divers uncovered a rectangular structure adorned with intricate carvings, possibly a temple or palace platform. Its design aligns with Vedic architectural texts, further bridging legend and archaeology. Meanwhile, sediment cores drilled from the seabed contain traces of ancient river channels, hinting that Dwarka may have stood at the mouth of a now-vanished waterway, its fate sealed when the river shifted or the seas rose. For archaeologists, every dive is a step closer to understanding how a city of such grandeur vanished so abruptly. For believers, each artifact is a whisper from Krishna's era, a divine fingerprint left on history. And for the rest of us, Dwarka remains a haunting enigma, a reminder that even the mightiest civilizations can be humbled by nature's power. As we surface from these depths, another ancient wonder calls, one carved not by water but by human hands in the heart of China. The Longyu Caves, with their colossal chambers and enigmatic origins, await. From the sunken city of Dwarka to the towering Moai of Easter Island, the ancient world leaves us with puzzles that defy simple explanations. These 25 geographic anomalies, each a marvel of engineering, astronomy, or sheer human, will paint a picture of civilizations far more advanced and interconnected than we once imagined. The Great Pyramids align with celestial precision, the Nazca Lines sprawl across deserts like messages to the gods, and the Longyu Caves whisper secrets of lost technologies. These aren't just relics, they're challenges to our modern assumptions, proving that ancient peoples possessed knowledge we're still struggling to decode. Consider the sheer diversity of these mysteries. Some, like Stonehenge and the Karnak stones, hint at sophisticated understanding of the stars. Others, like the sailing stones of Death Valley or the Bermuda Triangle, blur the line between natural phenomena and the supernatural. Then there are the enigmas of human ambition, the Plain of Jars, the Gate of the Sun, the Yonaguni Monument, each a testament to cultures that dared to reshape their world with nothing but stone, sweat, and ingenuity. What unites them all is the unanswered question: how were these feats achieved without the tools we rely on today? And why were they temples, tombs, cosmic calendars, or something beyond our current comprehension? The beauty of these anomalies lies not just in their mystery, but in what they reveal about our shared human story. They remind us that curiosity and wonder transcend time. Whether it's the submerged ruins of Dwarka echoing Hindu legends or the Rongorongo script of Easter Island taunting linguists, these sites invite us to keep exploring, questioning, and reimagining the past. So which of these 25 mysteries captivates you the most? Is it the eerie precision of the pyramids, the haunting bluestones of Stonehenge, or the underwater riddles of Yonaguni? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear which anomaly sparks your imagination. If you're hungry for more journeys into the unknown, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. From lost cities to forgotten civilizations, our channel dives deep into history's greatest enigmas, uncovering the truth one puzzle at a time. Thanks for joining us on this expedition through the ancient world's most baffling wonders. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and remember, the past still has plenty of secrets left to share.